Hello, my students, parents. I'm sure you are enjoying the social isolation. As I explained to you in the previous episode, what cannot be controlled, you have to accept it as a reality. As I mentioned to you, use this as an opportunity to do many things which you feel you have no time. This is a God given opportunity. It is an enforced discipline. So, the question I asked you to ask yourself the golden question: what is the best possible use of my time right now? After seeing my episodes, couple of my students telephoned to me and said that they are following the instructions. And one student specifically said, "Sir, I am catching up with my reading." And that girl had read more than 1,000 books in a period of 1 year. But then she asked me a question: "Sir, it's so interesting. I want to read more books. What do I do?" I explained to her what's meant by speed reading. There's a technology for reading a book fast. We are all used to reading in a particular way. Right from the school days, we are told how to read. You know what we were told those days? You take a book and you put your fingers on each word and read. This is how we were taught to read a book from the youngest days, and that we have been following all these years. We have to unlearn to learn something new. So, I'm going to discuss with you what's called speed reading. It's not reading fast, it's speed reading. I want to give an example, a metaphor. You find some people driving their car fast. We call them as rash drivers, don't we? I'm not talking about that type of a speed, but you take a look at the racers, bike racers, car racers, professional racers. They have a technology for increasing the speed and going at a very high speed, and that's a skill. Similarly, the difference between an ordinary amateur typist, we may use our fingers, one or two fingers, and type a page. But if you go through a professional typewriting course, you should be able to type much faster without looking at the keyboard. You'll be hitting the right key. That calls for a technology. That's what I'm going to talk to you about. I had an opportunity to see a YouTube video. In this posting, I have given the link. You can click that, and there is an interview for nearly 24 minutes. The name of the person is Michel Wozniak. He is a world speed reading expert sometime in 2016. There's an elaborate interview by Michel, and he gives you a lot of technique. He takes you back to the school days when your teacher asked you to touch every word and read. And he recalls how that is also important. He talks about skimming, he talks about photo reading, he talks about neuro linguistic programming, NLP, how the mind is an integral part of the reading system. It's a very interesting example. So, students who have a taste for reading, it's better you watch this 24 minutes video by clicking the link I have uploaded along with this. There is also another dimension to this I want to discuss. Like any other skill, speed reading is also a skill. Like I explained to you about typing, There is a way to type faster. It's a skill. By constant practice, you can do that. The next now 19 days, no, the time is slowly passing. Every day, spend about 15 minutes on speed reading. Like we started walking fast, running fast, speaking fast, writing fast, reading at a higher level of speed. We are used to reading letter by letter, then word by word, and then sentence. He talks about the span of attention, how the eye should pick a line. And also, I want to give a correlation between time and task. Let's say that you want to reach a destination about 45 kilometers away. So there is a start point, there is an end point, there is a start time, there is an end time. So we call it as time zone. If you want to reach the destination which is 45 kilometers away, you should know how to go safely, but at the same time, not taking too much time. There's a difference between cycle time and lead time. Make a note of these two words. Cycle time, lead time. Lead time is the normal time we take to complete a task. For example, I start reading this book and I go through that, then I'm distracted, then I come back, then I'm distracted, I come back. Now, what happens over a period of time? The number of days that I need to complete this book will be much more. But supposing you fix a fixed time, you locate a particular place to read, discipline yourself, and read, you'll be able to complete it much faster. That's called cycle time. For this, your mind should accept. That's what NLP says. Unless and until you want it, you are not going to make it. So tell yourself, I love this book. In fact, there is a YouTube video sometime back. There's a person who does photo reading. You know what he does? First he handles the book and then he loves the book, then he smells the book, he hypes himself, and then he starts reading. He says by all this, by hyping himself, his mind is focused. And so he is able to read photo reading. It's an amazing science. It's an amazing technology. Like car racing, like bike racing, like sprint. You go and ask Usain Bolt, the fastest human being on earth. He will tell you how he sprints so fast. So reading is very, very important. That's why I started telling from the beginning, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. You have to read a lot. In order to read a lot, you cannot have more time. You have only 24 hours. During these 20 days, pick up a skill of speed reading, which will be useful to you when the school reopens. After this video ends, click that link and Michelle will explain to you how he reads faster than anybody, how his speed of reading is much superior, and why he is the expert, world champion in speed reading. Be safe, don't venture outside, follow the government instruction, enjoy this social distancing or social isolation. All the best.
SRMJV is not just a school, it's a one-time experience.
VM Nagar, Tiruvallur,